The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been raging for a long time. As we speak, it's been brought here inside the United Nations, but there are those who say the solution to the conflict is not to be found here. As the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas prepares to apply to the United Nations Security Council for full UN membership of a Palestinian state, the state seems set for another confrontation with Israel, who seem opposed to the idea.
We are ready to govern ourselves in an independent state. What we need is the end of occupation. That is part of the contract. In addition to that, we have crossed the two-thirds majority of number of states who have recognized the state of Palestine on the borders of 1967.
In an address, the Palestinian Authority President said the full UN status was a legitimate right for the Palestinian people. The address comes before a meeting of the United Nations General Assembly in a few days. The U.S. is also vehemently opposed to the bid, saying it will use its veto. In a press conference, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Susan Rice, stated that the U.S. is in favor of a two-state solution, but disapproves a short-circuit approach proposed by the Palestinian Authority, saying the real solution is in dialogue. The Palestinian official, however, say they want recognition as a state within the 1967 borders. This includes the West Bank, including East Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip. All of these areas were occupied by Israel in 1967. Israel withdrew its troops from Gaza in 2005, but is still in control of its airspace and coastlines. Mr. Abbas chose the bid for full membership over the less controversial option of asking the UN General Assembly to upgrade Palestinian status from observing entity to non-member. If statehood is rejected, the Palestinian Authority could still pursue this option. Mr. Abbas said more than 126 countries had now recognized Palestine as a state and its people had run out of patience. Israeli spokesman Mark Regev said there would be no official Israeli response to the speech, but he had earlier said the Palestinian move would damage the prospect for peace, saying the path to peace lay through direct negotiations in Ramallah and Jerusalem and not through the United Nations. Israel sees the statehood initiative as an attempt to undermine its legitimacy. The Palestinian desire for an upgrade in status within the United Nations leaves them with a lot of options, including bringing it here, the General Assembly. KINGSLEY Amayo, NN24, United Nations.